This is KOCO 5 News at 6.
Right now at 6, Oklahomans checking for damage in their homes after a 5.1 earthquake, the biggest one in recent years, felt as far away as Kansas, Missouri, and Amarillo, Texas. We do have team coverage tonight. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Mecca Rain. And we got dozens of calls because of that shaking, and we felt it here in the newsroom too. The epicenter of that 5.1 quake near Fairview. KOCO's Jonathan Cooper is there now. Jonathan.
Yeah, Mecca, the epicenter of this quake was about 17 miles to the north of us here in Fairview. To give you an idea, we're about 2 hours from downtown Oklahoma City. Now, we have not seen a lot of major damage out here today, which is good news. And the best representative of that, take a look at these liquor bottles. None of them fell off the shelves here at this liquor store here in Fairview. And just minutes ago, we spoke with the owner who says these shelves are brand new and stronger than the old ones. Now, I want to show you some surveillance video from here at the store. You can see the bottles jolting back and forth as well as the TV swaying with the waves of this quake. A Dollar General up the street had some toiletry supplies fall off their shelves, and a florist shop in town had several small glass angels break. But the lack of major damage was surprising to a lot of people we spoke with today. They say this quake felt different than the others and was the most intense they felt here in Oklahoma.
This is the biggest one that I felt. The last one about a month ago, you could definitely feel that, but you could definitely tell this one was a little bit bigger than that one.
It was actually strong enough this time that we literally had grabbed onto the cabinets to kind of steady ourselves because it was like being on a ship on an ocean.
Now, there's been some interior damage to homes around here as well. We've gotten reports of cracks and photos falling off of walls. And that 5.1 quake, not the only one that we felt out here today. There have been a lot of smaller aftershocks as well. We'll have a full report for you coming up tonight on KOCO 5 News at 10. Reporting live tonight in Fairview, Jonathan Cooper, KOCO 5 News.
Jonathan, thank you. And in more, a liquor store owner had some cleaning up to do. The shaking was enough to rattle a bottle off the shelf at Cheers Wine and Spirits near Southwest 19th and Santa Fe. Luckily, it was just one bottle. And our team coverage continues. KOCO's Brian Schlonsky talked to residents in Yukon who also saw some damage.
Well, we've seen mirrors falling off of walls, we've seen things falling off of shelves and breaking, and now take a look at this. This homeowner says we're seeing something else. These cracks in his garage, he says, getting worse today after the 5.1 recorded quake.
It isn't falling down by any means, but I won't worry about it.
For Jack Epley, that worry comes as he looks inside the garage at his Yukon home. Cracks running down the ceiling and even a break in the brick. After all, Epley's house means a lot to him.
Took me 50 years of saving, so I don't want to see it fall down.
During those 50 years, Epley worked in the oil field as an engineer. He believes current drilling practices are to blame for the Oklahoma shakes.
I just tell the oil patch to take care of it. They know what's causing it.
Epley's Yukon home sits about 100 miles from the epicenter of today's earthquake and aftershocks. He says something needs to be done before the cracks and the quakes get any bigger.
It's just going to get worse. It's proven that. It hadn't stopped.
In Yukon, Brian Schlonsky, KOCO 5 News.
And I'm here now with meteorologist Jonathan Condor. And Jonathan, we're talking about those earthquakes and then the aftershocks.
In Woods County, there were the big 5.1 and then about 8 aftershocks. So a total of 9 just in Woods County today. Take a look at the seismogram. You can clearly see where the 5.1 hit. That was at 11:07, but the aftershocks were big. 10 minutes later, 11:17, the 3.9, there was a 3.8. There was just a bunch of 2s and 3s this afternoon, but that 5.1, second strongest ever for Oklahoma. You remember the strongest, November 6, 2011, the Prague earthquake was a 5.6. Now, look at this, though. Before that big 5.6, there was a 4.8 the day before. So they kind of, go in pairs. So don't be surprised after the 5.1 we had today if we have another strong earthquake in the next 24 hours.
Okay, so something we need to be prepared for and know that can happen. Yep. All right, and that quake that happened this morning was predicted. In fact, last week, Paul Folger went to USGS headquarters in Golden, Colorado, where Oklahomans were warned.
People of Oklahoma should prepare.
The warning from geophysicist Dan McNamara at the USGS in Colorado was clear. A quake was on the way. He'd been researching the Prague quake from 2011, and when he saw 2 4+ quakes at the beginning of 2016, his concern was history repeating itself.
The Prague sequence had a 5.6 with 4 shocks, 2 foreshocks in the magnitude 4 range before it. So when we see, again.
And that's exactly what happened Saturday morning with the 5.1 near Fairview. It shook all over the state. McNamara's research points to a contributing factor.
What is causing the earthquakes in Oklahoma?
Well, it's pretty clear it's related to wastewater injection.
As researchers continue to study it, it's clear we all felt what McNamara was calling, and we told you about.
May not get too large, into the 6 or 7 range, but a high 5 could produce strong shaking, and at that point old brick facades can come down.
Paul Folger, KOCO 5 News.
And many of you sent us photos of that damage. Tim Dinsmore sent a picture of some cracks in his concrete floor. You're seeing it right there. And Holly Raymond sent us pictures of cracks in her ceiling. You can see one near the light there in her home in Oklahoma City. And if you see any damage, we're asking that you upload a picture using your KOCO mobile app. Meanwhile, the Corporation Commission reminded us today that they're working on a plan to prevent earthquakes. They'll announce details of that plan on Tuesday. Last month, the commission ordered 27 wastewater disposal wells to reduce volume in the area of Fairview. They were hoping to cut the injection by nearly 55,000 barrels per day. And the next big earthquake, that's the concern many people have, and they're preparing for the worst case scenario. Insurance Commissioner John Doak says lawmakers need to start thinking ahead. The worst case scenario would be if insurance companies stopped offering earthquake insurance. That's what prompted Senator Clark Jolly to author the What If bill.
If you just pass the bill for now and we don't need it, it sits on the shelf as a tool. But then if we ever need to pull it off, then there would be those discussions around, how to put it together and what that means.
And a Senate committee has approved that bill. Now it moves to the full Senate floor. From there, the bill could either die or move forward. And KOCO has you covered on this big story. We'll send out the latest updates on the KOCO mobile app, including any aftershocks. A grass fire got dangerously close to homes near Northwest 150th and Penn in Oklahoma City. Flames creeping awfully close to backyard fences. The fire broke out around 3:45 this afternoon. Crews were able to get the flames under control before the homes were damaged. No word yet on what started that fire. Also tonight, investigators in Love County are looking for the suspects who started a huge grass fire earlier this week. Flames destroyed nearly 600 acres of land on Wednesday. Crews believe this is arson because they found pieces of foil that were possibly used as an accelerant. Thankfully, firefighters were able to stop the flames before they reached any homes. Well, new tonight, making sure parents and kids are on the same page when it comes to health and sex. An advocacy group held a discussion at Norman High School about a bill in the state legislature. The proposal would require schools to give at least one training session per year for children and their parents. This would be for 6th through 12th grade. The goal is to give parents the tools to talk to their kids about sex, pregnancy, and STDs.
In there is language that allows the states to use Title IV funds to teach healthy relationships.
The Yes All Daughters group worked with a couple representatives to introduce that bill. Well, helping pets avoid death and find forever homes. Straight ahead, we show you the first part of their journey to no-kill animal shelters. And a new store in Nichols Hills that has a lot of people excited. We'll have a look inside the new Trader Joe's under construction.
Live, local, late breaking. This is KOCO 5 News at 6 o'clock in high definition.
Welcome back, everyone. New tonight, saving lives with an airlift. Dozens of shelter dogs and cats from Oklahoma, now in the Pacific Northwest. This morning, 90 dogs and cats were airlifted at the Will Rogers Airport. The Wings of Rescue group organized this event. The pets have been staying at overcrowded shelters across Oklahoma with a high risk of being euthanized. The pets will now be taken to no-kill animal shelters where they'll have more time to find forever homes. And just a reminder, the Central Oklahoma Humane Society is waiving their adoption fees for Valentine's Day. It usually costs $100. The Humane Society has already closed for the day, though, but you can stop by tomorrow from noon until 4. Well, new at 6, we're getting a new look inside the new Trader Joe's in Nichols Hills. OKC Talk posted pictures on Twitter. This is part of new shops and restaurants at the Nichols Hills Plaza near Northwest 63rd and Western.
Well, we're dry now, but I'm going to show you when drizzle moves in for tomorrow and then how fast we can warm into the 70s.
The national spotlight is on the Sooners. College game day is in town for the rematch. It's Sooners versus Jayhawks. We'll have a full recap of another thriller. It's next on KOCO 5 Sports.